Glad to be back with you. So, unbreakable. It's a really interesting term, isn't it? Because it can really mean like, you're like steel. You're like, nothing can touch me. And in this time, I think that there's several things that have emerged. One is that there's so much blame and shame and crying and whining and, consternation. And is there a reason for it? Yes. Is that the way to fix it? I don't believe so, no. I believe the way to fix things in life have to do with you. Not that we don't get together as a community. I will get to that. Because as we bond together and we come forth, then things can change. But unbreakable literally means that, not that you don't break, but that when you feel broken, that when you feel you're having a breakdown, that when you feel the things around you are broken, you don't lash out and just blame and shame and, get on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, or Facebook, it doesn't matter, and blah, blah, blah. That you look at you and you figure out, what are your tools? How are you able to deal with life itself, right? Because it's so easy to go out and blame and shame someone else. When you're connected to you, you can actually be more discerning and not judgmental. And that is so fantastic, and it's such a gift. Because discernment comes from clarity. Clarity does not come from being in a state of consternation, distress, upset. It comes from being in a state of resilience. And to me, unbreakable doesn't mean that you can't have that moment, but it means that it doesn't become your life, that you're not just at the mercy of whatever comes down the pike, that you have tools and you have a practice. Somebody said to me last night in class, they said, do you really do sadhana every day? Which is a morning practice. Really, sadhana literally means to reconnect to the self, the layers of the self. And I said, yes, I do sadhana every day. And she said, oh, you're so disciplined. She had just told me how disciplined she was with a food and herb things for her kids during this time. And I thought, we all have our areas of discipline. It's how do we apply it to the things that we want in our life? Because so many times people say, I want a better relationship with this person. I want to take care of myself better. I want to make more money. I want, to really get a spiritual practice. I want, but their actions are over here. So what unbreakable means is that you're willing to do one step at a time. And I know that's so boring sometimes. It's like, I don't want to do that. I want to go from here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here, and that's much more juicy. But everybody that you know that has excelled at anything has done it by one step at a time, one practice at a time, one new technique, one new observation, one new connectivity. And so that's really what makes you unbreakable. It doesn't mean that you will never break down. It means that how quickly you can get up and utilize all of the tools and techniques you've gathered to bring you back into that state of homeostasis, where you have more clarity, more discernment, more compassion, more kindness to yourself and others. Because let's face it, when we're in a blame-shame state, we're blaming and shaming ourselves as well as other people. And usually when you're in that reactive state, you're doing things that you're not proud of. If you're proud of them right now, you won't be in a few years. And we're not eating well to support ourselves. So unbreakable literally means that you are smart enough to have a good toolkit and a deep enough desire to be disciplined enough to utilize the toolkit or get a really good support system in your life, a support person that can help you get these practices in place in your life, support you in doing this, so you have an accountability, because accountability is definitely part of the creating a discipline. And some people are born very disciplined because who knows, all the lifetimes before or whatever, but it really is about how do you build that right now in your life so that you can be more sustainable, truthfully, deeply more sustainable as a human being, as that light on the planet. So I just want to give you two things that you can do. One is I right now have an Unbreakable program, which is half price, and you can get it at half price, and for that same half price, share it with a friend, because that's how we build more Unbreakable in the world, is, two people at a time. Then that friend can, buy it for another friend, and then, it just is that mandala that we're creating of people of resilience and kindness and compassion, because you're not just, in this whirlwind of blame and shame, and that allows us to be more connected to where we want to place our energy, and that's how we can get things done. We can make the changes in the world that we see that need to happen. There's always things that need to be upgraded and up-leveled. Absolutely, and shaming and blaming is not the way to make it happen. That's the way to have it collapse after a very short period of time, because people get tired and worn out from it. And then we start blaming and shaming, and then it backfires on you, and you're the one that gets blamed and shamed. And it doesn't feel great. Okay. So I want you to know how to be unbreakable. I said two things I'd offer you, but I'm going to offer you the other thing on the next video. Okay. So look at Unbreakable, see how it can support you, and know that you are worthwhile, and that in your self-worth, if you choose to have the tools and the techniques and the discipline to enact them, you will truly be a being of resilience, a human being, a light of the mind, right? In each cell, that knowingness, you will light up the world, and each one of us can light the world in a different way. So I look forward to your light. When you have gotten the program and shared it with somebody, please post on here, let other people know, and post what you like, what works for you in that, because different things work for different people, I can tell you. But the more that we can connect, the more that we can share, the more that we can build that radiance on this planet. And that's what this is about. Love you. Blessings.